everyone, and welcome to Conjure Crew. How's everybody doing today? Hey, Tonya. Hey, Shishi. How are you, ladies?
Hey,
Hey.
good.
Ooh, cold.
How are y'all doing?
I can't hear anything. Hold up. What the hell? It's probably me.
You can't hear anything?
Oh,
I
you
hear
know
the
what? I
music
know
in
what
the
I
background.
did. Okay, now I can hear. I rebooted my computer, and since I had the mic plugged in, it always switches to the mic for output sound, and I'm like, but you can't hear through the mic.
Ah, 'cause y'all were
I
coming
still
through.
hear the countdown music.
I don't hear the music.
Okay, I'm gonna exit and come back in because all I hear is countdown music.
Okay.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right.
I don't hear anything but you talking.
I hear some kind of little buzz, but I don't hear any music.
Okay. Now I don't hear the music any longer.
Okay.
Good.
So
Huh.
let me see.
Hello, ladies.
Hello. How have y'all been?
Good.
Good. A little busy, but good.
I'm gonna tilt you up a little bit. I have to go get me my chapstick. I'll be right back.
All right. Busy is good though.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, Sierra.
Sierra's. Oh, Kiara.
Kiara, is it Kiara?
Kiara. Okay.
Yeah, it's Kiara, right?
Yeah, I was like, I don't think Sierra's here. Hey, lady. Let me try to
See you at the
see.
date.
When is this full moon in? What astrological sign is it in?
Let me read the article because I'm not real big into astrology.
But it is the last supermoon of the year, though. It's the last supermoon of the year that I know.
I can. No, it's not. There's supposed to
They
be
said-
four supermoons beginning in August. So August, and then September, and then there's going to be 2 more.
I thought there were 3, and I thought it happened February, April, and then now.
Hell, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know much about astrology. I can read the article.
Yeah, read it.
Let me
So
see.
why did you pick the topic?
Because it had like what the moon is going to be doing to the zodiac signs.
Well, if we don't know astrology, how are we going to talk about it?
Well, I can read what's written on the article.
I
I know
think
how to read.
I think we gotta have a
long time
discussion.
ago.
I think we gotta have discussions about it, though. We're gonna have to start doing the topics like a week ahead of us so we can research it. Because I'm like you, I'm not big on astrology either. Where's the article at so that we can kind of connect with you?
It's on
Yeah.
People.
Okay, our people.
Here, let me send a link.
I'm like, where's my other phone?
Okay, no, I think she's right. I think it is the last supermoon.
Yeah, it's the last supermoon of the year when I was looking at it. And because it was February, April in 2024, but I think it's called Perigi as well.
Oh no! We got one coming in October and November.
Is it? So what is it that they're saying the last supermoon was?
I knew they said there was 4 beginning in August. So
Yeah.
August, September,
Really?
October, November.
Yeah.
Let me
Let me
see.
see.
What is it in?
Hey, Anthony. Hey, Shantae. You excuse us, y'all. We still trying to get shit together.
I don't know. I was gonna talk about the scary movie Deliverance. I was gonna ask you guys if you watched it yet.
I watch Hallmark. I watch Christmas movies all year long.
That's so sweet.
Deliverance was funny to me.
It wasn't, you know what the truth is, the real story, like if you watch it from the angle of Zach Bagans and the house, because Zach Bagans was the one that bought the house and
Right.
destroyed. It was much scarier on his end, actually. I fell asleep on it, but it was definitely much scarier than the actual Lee Daniels depiction of it.
Lee Daniels stuff is like Tyler Perry stuff. It's too over the top. It's too dramatic. The demon was calling her the N-word and cussing her out like it was like had a 40 ounce and a black and mild in his hand. It was just a horrible representation.
That sounds like Friday.
Yeah, it was kind of like Friday with a demon to me. I mean, and I get the idea. And then you had all these people on TikTok talking about, the demon was coming through the TV and possessing me. We got to talk about that too.
That's what I want to talk about, because my mom was like, you need to be very careful what you watch, because then you invite that stuff in, and of course everybody's freaking out about it.
Well, Carol Ann, don't go into the light. It was TV. Different. It was TV.
They also did that on Real Haunted Land or some crazy crap too.
Yeah, that girl didn't she die?
Her dad
after like the second or third one?
Wait, no, the dad could go. She died of some unknown disease. That one died of some unknown disease.
Obstruction in her intestines, I believe. She died of some type of obstruction, something that was blocked.
But I think a lot of people die when they make movies on
demons,
spiritual properties.
Really? Hey,
yeah.
Lydia.
Because like I think one of the movies, I don't know if it's this one, but I know like when they were doing a movie similar to this, they said they had somebody on site to cleanse and bless the place every time after every shooting. I was like, if you're that scared, don't do it.
Well, I have a friend that gets paid to set up altars, and he is a voodoo priest. He is an Ugan. I think that they pay people that actually practice to come in and set these things up, so it's as close to reality as possible. And unfortunately, depending on how these practitioners are setting up, they could be opening portals on these movie sets, and that could be where the problem is happening, because it's not make believe. A lot of these, the studios are trying to get as real to life as they possibly can. And my friend, I think he got paid like $20,000 to set up an authentic voodoo altar for a movie. And he did it. He did it for the money.
Yeah.
Well, you remember I was telling you I was watching that movie on Hallmark that had Queen Quet in it.
Yeah.
From the Gullah Geechee Nation.
I mean,
and you were telling me that she's in a lot of movies, huh?
Was that the one? My sister was telling me about something, and she said that whoever played the role of the person that was doing the cleansing or whatever seemed like they really knew what they were doing, like they were from that spot.
Well, she didn't really do anything in the movie. She just kind of sat there in the circle, and she just was like, yeah. She didn't really say anything or do anything. She just sat in the circle, but I recognized her.
Hi, Nicole.
Hey, Nicole. She's been in a few movies, and I think it kind of goes back to the authenticity of having practitioners that are breaking into the entertainment industry, and those that actually are actors also that are getting paid to present these things as realistically. And I mean, what better to do than have a priest being a priest?
Yeah.
Typically would do. Where are the ethics though? Like, where do you cross the line and where do you draw the line with that? Because my spirits are sacred to me.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think, unless my spirits say that they want to make $30,000 on a movie. Now, could the Loa, the Orisha, your spirit guides be like, you know what? Yeah, we want to be paid $30,000. I don't think I would still go in there.
And some of them, though, they're not even anywhere near close to what. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. I'm not getting my words right, but here's what I'm thinking. Alison Dubois, Medium, that TV series Medium. She consulted on that movie. Okay, but her character in the movie is nothing like her in real life. she doesn't have these dreams and these visions like
Right.
that. Hers is done through automatic writing.
Yeah.
Is how she talks to spirits, is through the automatic writing. She doesn't like wake up, oh my god, a plane is going to crash, or whatever.
Oh.
It's true. I mean, there's definitely some dramatic pauses that are, put in, or things that are, pumped up for the effect of the movie. I mean, nobody wants to go in and actually, the time that it takes to do a true ritual and everything that goes into it is not glamorous.
Yeah.
It's not entertainment for a lot of people.
Wasn't Wendy on an episode of NCIS New Orleans
Wendy?
as a tarot reader? You remember Wendy?
Mm-mm.
Wendy and her little boyfriend that used to read cards at the shop in New Orleans. Wendy, Wendy. Let me tell you a secret. Hold on.
Of like your mom person, like, no, they're like, yes, you do remember, and they're giving you all the details, and you're like, nope, still don't remember.
Yes, Cynthia Brown. Cynthia Brown was a regular on Montel Williams' show. I actually used to like when he would have her on. And I feel like that a lot of her predictions came true. And then she also got a lot of flack because some of them didn't come true, which goes to point that most diviners are not 100%. The message is only as good as the messenger can interpret it. And so she got a lot of flack for Alison Dubois too. Alison Dubois got tore up on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, because they were like, this woman was at the table drunk. She was telling people's future, and none of it came to pass. And so they were like, she's a fake medium. So I think
hers didn't come true for me either. And hers at $500 for 30 minutes.
A lot of people said that they lost money on some of her readings. And like you said, she wasn't cheap. She was not cheap. So go ahead.
No,
so do you remember Wendy now?
Did you send me a picture of her?
I sent you a message on Facebook. Tall, skinny black lady. She would read the bones, and she would read tarot at Mama Star and Kurt's shop.
I never knew that woman's name.
It's Wendy.
They called her something priestess. I never knew her name.
Oh, her name is Wendy.
Okay.
But yeah, she said her and her little boyfriend, that short guy, was supposed to be on an episode of NCIS.
New
New Orleans, yeah. I never saw her on there, but I may have missed her because I watched that whole thing. Because remember, my car was on that show.
I remember they had a controversy too, where was the boyfriend a drug addict or something that may have caused a problem with, making a deal.
Maybe, who knows?
Yeah, that was the big thing in the community.
I know they broke up, but you know what show that I think is, and it's going to sound so off the wall, but I think it's pretty close to the real thing as far as like hoodoo, is Supernatural. If you think about all the references they made, even the 5 dots, and I mean, a lot of stuff was
they had a consultant.
Pretty accurate.
They actually had a consultant that worked that show. That's what I'm saying. A lot of these shows and movies actually hire people that practice, that come in and tell them how to set it up so that they can get it as close to possible. But they did. They had 3. From what I understood, they had one main one, and they had 2 other people that they researched and they consulted on every episode.
A lot of their stuff was factual. I mean, wasn't nobody burning on the ceiling, but you know what I'm saying.
I mean, but it could happen, right? Oh, thank you, Melissa.
And
what is it? Oh, and salt does not protect you from everything. Like they use for everything. Like give the salt.
Nor does it stop every spirit.
The Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, the one that you watched with Mark.
Yeah,
That one had a real lady in it too, from Savannah.
Yeah, that was pretty factual. I have that movie.
It was a good movie. It was my first time seeing it, but I absolutely loved it. Let's see, Nicole, what do we think about AHS, American Horror Story, the Coven? I
didn't see
That's
that.
the only season that I did like, because I think it portrayed witches in a very powerful light.
Yeah.
It also too it kind of displayed the pettiness of some covens and some spiritualities, because it happens that way. Sometimes you get these spiritual battles where it's like not gangs, but it's witches, or it's witches against the people that practice voodoo, or it's witches against the people that practice Santeria, or the witches against the people that practice Palo. Witches be wanting to have all the smoke. They be wanting to have all the smoke. It's always a witch involved in the mix.
Yeah, I mean, most books that you read about witches, they're always in some kind of gang war with another something another.
Of the spiritual world. They are the gangsters of the spiritual world.
The witches hate the vampires, or whatever.
As far as like Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, that was written by Anne Rice.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
but she's really good.
Really legit. I mean, she went back to Christianity before she passed, but or Catholicism. So yeah, it was written by Anne Rice, and she was, she lived in New Orleans, so she was pretty serious about getting.
Yeah, I love her Witching Chronicles. They made a series. I just watched season 1.
They said that she practiced. Now, maybe that's why she converted back to Catholicism, because when she got close to death, maybe she thought some of the things she did or wrote about were going to block her from going to heaven.
I don't know. I just remember her husband passed. And I know when I was doing a lot more writing, because she was my favorite, still remains my favorite author.
Mm-hmm.
I had actually written her about some concerns that I had about something I was writing, and she actually hand wrote me back. I still have that letter. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Lydia, I love Harry Potter.
I do too.
Love Harry Potter.
Yep, I do too. I actually really like this series, Dominic Day. I don't know if you guys
I've seen that, but I can't remember what it's about.
It's about the witch who ends up she's like a succubus, and she doesn't realize she's a succubus, and they had slayed off her whole line, and there's certain witches that rule over all the other witches, and there's a black witch in there, and she said, I am a from one of the God.
I saw it, but I watched so many movies. I mean, just back to back constantly.
Well, it's a series. It's on AMC.
Yeah, on Amazon, right? Or was it Apple TV? I don't remember. I go back and forth between those two.
I saw it on AMC Plus, but they wouldn't let the black witches practice African traditional religion. So it was out. I think Bashi or something. I have to look it up.
And this is Dominic Day?
Domino,
yeah.
Yeah.
Domino. Okay.
I know I saw that, and it was maybe just.
It's really a good series. And I don't know if they're going to get a season 2 or not. I hope they do.
Okay, I'm going to put that on my list.
Yes, I have watched the Mayfair Witches. I think the second season comes out at the end of this year or early next year, I think.
Okay, yeah, because there was only one. But it kind of touched on almost... I know it did all of the first book.
Yeah.
I loved her books. All of them.
The Mayfair Witches, it doesn't start with Lasher. Does it start with Lasher? It starts
The Witching Hour, and then Lasher, and then
Altos.
Yeah.
Altos was good.
It was just those 3. But there was another. I didn't read all of her vampire books, but I loved Memnoch the Devil.
Oh, that was a good one too. I'm only missing, because I want to complete my series with her, I think I'm missing 7 of her books, but it's the newer ones, and I plan to get them. to complete my whole collection, because I am hella bougie when it comes to collecting my Anne Rice. I have some signed copies. I have some copies that like she had made guides to how to now. She had made yeah. No,
Sorry, I just realized I remember that show now.
Domino Day.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil the ending for anybody, but yeah.
It's a good one.
Where is it showing on?
I watched it on Apple TV.
I watched it on AMC Plus.
Okay, I didn't see it, but I have AMC Plus.
And like, it's so interesting because the girl who she's, you know, she still practices her ancestral religion behind their back, and like her ancestors come up and they have their ancestral clothing and everything. It was really, 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 really cool.
So let me ask a question for those that are in the closet as witches or practitioners, just because you were saying something about people coming out or people not knowing. I mean, it always shows that people that are interested in stuff like this typically are people that practice, that they're drawn to it because that is something that they have either done before in a past life or something that they are called to. How many of y'all, and I mean, you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I'm interested, how many of y'all have been honest with your families about what you're into as far as your practicing or your practices? Because I'm curious.
Well, you were part of my life when I came out the closet, the witchy closet, and that was hard. That was hard.
Yeah, you came out, basically the dark witch. So you didn't come out love and light and all that stuff like that.
No, definitely not.
But was it, I think when people, especially when they have to be vulnerable and, you have people that definitely their families disown them because of sexuality and things like that, or not being in the same mindset. But I know for some people, when it comes to religion and things like that, that's even harder for some people, because it may be that not only is it the immediate family, but you may lose friends also because they don't agree with what you practiced. Lynna, have you ever experienced it?
Yeah, but it wasn't even like witchy or hoodoo or anything like that. It was because I sent my kids to Catholic school.
Like them dreaded Catholics.
My mom refused to go to Walker's baptism because we're not Catholic. And who gives a shit? I lived in Littleton, Colorado when the whole Columbine thing went down. I swore when I had kids, my kids would not go to public school. They went to Catholic school because I didn't want them to get shot up.
It's so funny because my high school was a private school associated with a Baptist church. And I keep telling myself, if I had kids, I would never send them to a school affiliated with a religion. But now I'm like, okay, where am I sending them? Because like these schools are dangerous. But,
yeah.
For me.
Taylor, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, Taylor, see, Walker started when he was 3 years old, and Taylor started when she was 1 in Catholic school. And then when COVID hit, halfway through 8th grade for Taylor, and so she did, online the rest of the year. And then her freshman year, she did online. And then she went back to Catholic school her sophomore year, and she was like, I hate this school. Please let me go to public school. Within 3 weeks of her starting public school, those kids got killed right in front of the school. That drunk driver, remember, in Galveston, killed all them kids.
But I don't think.
And then there was a bomb threat. I drove all the way back from Austin. Kids bringing
private school too, though, Lynna. I went to an all-girl private school, and we had a shooter. We had issues there. I think, unfortunately,
I passed by your school this morning, as a matter of fact.
I think, unfortunately, we just try to keep our kids safe, but it could happen anywhere.
It was just
I
That
can
knot
understand.
you feel in your stomach when your daughter sends you a snap saying we're in lockdown. Somebody brought a gun to school, and you're fucking in Austin.
No, that
It
is
and it was like, I it's my fault for letting her go. You know, if something happens to her, it's my fault for letting her go.
I
But
truly
that's what
believe.
I felt. But no, my family gave me hell over sending my kids to Catholic school.
That's crazy. So Mary, because your family still has a hard time, what do they have a hard time with? Because and I'm interested because I remember I think it was Mambo Elizabeth Ruth had posted maybe a couple of years ago that my mom passed away and now I can finally live my life as outwardly as a witch. Basically, and I think Mambo Elizabeth Ruth was like in her 50s at
Yeah.
that point. So she was waiting for her mother to pass away so that she could walk in the path that she was called to at the time. So I was always interested because typically when we look at these movies and these shows and things that we gravitate towards, like I don't know, you kind of know that people are into it or they're dabbling in it by what they watch, by what they're into. So I was just curious.
So I'll say, like, even before I stepped onto the path, I was always drawn to that. So I don't know. I think a lot of people who get drawn to it, they're drawn to it because of the mysticism. So I think if you're curious about certain things, then you get drawn to that, even though you may not be walking that path currently. But I think as far as coming out the closet, especially when most of your family is Baptist or, affiliated with like Abrahamic religion, you will. I mean, I lost quite a few friends when I, left the church, quite a few. And it
Yeah.
sucks. I think could I hold out till my mom passed? No, I think that would be unfair to me. But I think a lot of people hold on and they hold out because it's just, and we've talked about it all the time, so much easier just to say, I'm a Christian or I'm a Catholic or I'm something that everybody accepts because then, there's no question. But when you're like, no, you don't go to the church or know something else, then people kind of look at you like you're crazy. Like, why not?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to do that?
Baptists have a very strong mindset. That's what my family is. My grandpa was a Baptist preacher, and they have it's like Footloose for real.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. My grandpa was preaching. We would go up there, and he would practice all through the week. Come around Sunday, they'd make us sit in the front pew. I'd lay down and go to sleep because I already heard it. I used to and then he'd slap that podium. But yeah, they knew when I was in the coven, and my mom wasn't even allowed to come over to my house.
Wow. Well, Mary said the word witch freaks them out, and they think that she didn't believe in God, so they call her a white witch because it's easier than to believe in that she would do something dark, which is a whole different thing too.
I think people associate being a witch, they automatically go, oh, you worship the devil. But you're like, really? That's the leap that you take.
That's because back in their generation, they had Rosemary's Baby.
They didn't have Charmed. I get it.
Well, I think it goes back to biblical, right? It's more biblical references because in the Bible, witchcraft is condemned, but the Bible is full of witchcraft.
Mm-hmm. The greatest conjure man ever lived was Moses.
Yeah, so it's very interesting, but I guess it of course is how you look at it. But yeah, that is, I guess for some people, a lot of people want to see what Lydia says. A lot of stuff in church is witchy though, and it's true, absolutely true. Hey, Yvette, I think a lot of the stuff that these movies and things are they're based around, like in the Deliverance, at the end of the movie, who did she call on?
God.
She called on God. She told you to believe in Jesus' name.
Yeah.
And so it's we keep getting this this tug of war. The demon is going to come, the witch is going to make you sick, or the demon is going to make you sick, and then God or Jesus is going to come and save you. And so we're pushing the propaganda that that's the only way that you can be saved is if you believe in that, which I mean is of course the narrative.
Oh, we gotta block somebody. Certified.
Fox.
Yeah.
Say we talk about the witches and the witches come. Ooh, is she going quick too?
Oh, she's copy pasting.
Yeah, she got to be young. That profile picture is a is a fake because us old people can't move like that. Serena moving fast.
Click.
Got it.
Oh my God. Yeah, that copy and paste game was on point.
Yeah, it was.
Yvette said certain door dashers sat in the parking lot because they didn't want to come into the store named the Motown Witch. I wouldn't even think about that.
Look, witches gotta eat too. Bring your food.
Yeah, I guess I never really thought about that. What a deterrent that word could be.
It's just the dream, the Cerna witchcrafting. Let me see.
Did I accidentally do that? I didn't mean to do that.
What you do?
There we go.
I guess
Sean.
I was trying to block her, and I guess I clicked on it, so it put it up on the screen.
Oh, okay. With Lydia, yeah, witches got to eat. I don't know.
Yeah, and they usually tip better anyway.
I mean, I think it's just sad that there's such a negative, relation in people's mind with witch. They automatically assume you're going to do something to them. I mean, yes, we all know witches, but who was it, Tanya? We knew a witch that she get mad at somebody, automatically curse you. Real quick.
Well, there's quite a few of them like that.
Mm-hmm.
It would be something just so slight, like somebody messed up her sandwich. She was jacking up their life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know somebody like that. Wasn't a her though; it was a he.
Yeah, you just like some things are not necessary, but I
but even they put witches down and everything. But if we're going to cross reference back to movies, the Outlander. Who do people go to when they get sick?
The witch.
They go to the herb woman.
Yeah. And even Lydia's bringing up Angelica Houston and the witches. There's a lot of propaganda that, of course, and it goes back to religion.
It does.
A lot of this is don't believe in this because it's not of God. It's not of, what people would consider normal. And that goes all the way back. We had innocent people being burned because people were using that propaganda to control the narrative of villages and towns.
But where do they think they got their power from? Jesus turned water into wine.
Well,
there were frogs raining from heaven. Come on now.
Well, I think that some people that scared them, and I think in today's world that still scares them. I saw some guy on TikTok, and he was like, he broke up with a girl because he went to her house, and she had an ancestor altar. And
that's stupid.
He would not want to be with somebody that practices some type of witchcraft. Not once did he sit down, and that's what the girl was saying. She goes, he didn't even sit down to ask me about what it is I believe in or what I practice.
Didn't God even tell all the Jews to participate in blood magic so that the angel of death would pass over their house?
And they did too. They put that mark on
put the blood on their door.
They put that door. Yeah, they mark on that door. Let's see, Nicole. I just find it hypocritical when the act of giving communion is another form of blessing or spell work. It is.
That's very true. I think, it's easy. I mean, if you really look at it, the Catholic Church is just a bunch of witches anyway. It really is just
Let's walk down and sit and do our incense the whole way down because we're gonna clear the space so he can get up there. He can turn the bread into the body and the wine into the blood.
If we were able to break into the Vatican, we'd find some stuff, y'all.
I would
They got
definitely.
some aliens down there. They got some mummified witches. They got a little bit. The Vatican is rolling.
I think the Catholics are just like the Masons.
Oh, look
They
at
think
that.
that I think the Catholics are just like the Masons. They think they ain't hiding shit.
No, no. Yvette said I can't see one of my grandsons because of the altars in my house. Never mind that the hoe is a stripper.
Well, showed so that we could fly. So they say in P Valley. Showed so.
That is sad. And I think it's sad too that there's so many gifted children that are born into a bloodline, and that their parents will not allow them to be taught because they feel like it is evil, and it is their birthright. It is their birthright. And then these people grow up to be adults and they're so confused and they're battling with life because they have all these gifts and nobody taught them how to use it. And then they could have been raised in a doctrine that it's wrong.
Yeah.
You're not even supposed to think this way.
People put people in institutions because they're hearing spirits. They're not hearing voices. Yeah. They're hearing spirits.
When I went back to the church and I was like, I'm seeing these things, and they're like, oh, because the devil is after you, you're doing something wrong. And I'm like, that's not going to help me. So I went to the witches, and the witches helped.
A lot of people find their path as they go where they are welcomed. They go where they're not judged. Mary said people try to compartmentalize religion and the craft. Plenty of them get readings and candles and everything. And it's absolutely true. I have a prophetess in a church that comes to me for readings. Now
I sold a bunch of candles to some church up in I think it was Pennsylvania or something. Order them off of Etsy.
Because a lot of pastors and a lot of people within the churches do believe in the power. They just don't want that stuff to be public. They don't want it to be public.
I don't know if you guys have heard of like the publication Medium, and they have an app. I love it. But there's a guy up there. He was a Catholic priest, and he left the church. He said because the church doesn't want you to know all these things that they learn in the school, because basically if they were to teach it how they learned it in school, then people would stop going to church.
That's why I was saying they're like the Masons. The Masons do a lot of magic too.
Yeah, they do. They really.
It's interesting because I think if you were to open any of this up in school, it would contradict a lot of things that parents are trying to teach their kids, or it would go against spiritual and religious backgrounds of how the upbringing is. A lot of kids struggle with gifts, and the first thing that families want to do is shut it down. Like, let's pray it away. Let's not deal with it.
I don't know.
She says she has a pastor who is her regular customer because he buys oils for his congregation. Yeah.
Yeah. I just think it's strange that, there's other things that I'm afraid of, but I'm like, you guys are scared of the witches? I don't know. I think people need a good and a bad. They have to have that right and that wrong. They have to have these lines that, pretty much keep them straight. I don't understand why people feel like religion is the only way that they can have the proper morals and ethics. I've always believed that if you needed religion to tell you what was right and wrong, when innately I truly believe that most of us know what is right and wrong, or what is, basically good, bad, however you want to judge it. If you need that, then something's very off to me. Very off. I think many a times, because I can say, speaking from experience, having grown up in the church, you're like, okay, this is right, this is wrong. And there's this constant fear, that if you do something wrong, then you're going to fall off the path, or there's some form of payment that needs to be made. and it kind of just keeps you aligned. It like gives you these rules, like I didn't do that. So you look at people and you're like, well, I can't be that bad because I didn't do A, B, and C. I'm doing this over here. So this definitely makes me a good person. And I feel like it's kind of a scale of judgment in a way. And I feel like people use it as judgment. So.
I say it all the time, don't I, Tonya? I have never robbed a bank or done a drive-by because my grandma beat my ass with the switch.
But I think,
but it's in reference to how nowadays kids are not disciplined, and so it kind of goes back to it. The church, in a way, disciplines you because they always hold this over your head. If you don't ask for forgiveness, if you're not saved, if you're not baptized, if you're not this, you're not that, then you're going to go to hell. But in reality, what is it really teaching these kids and people in general? It teaches them to lie, amongst all kinds of other things, because you're like, oh no, I didn't do that. It wasn't me.
Well, I think our generation, if you're in your 50s and your 40s, maybe a little bit in your 30s, judgment and fear of religion and God probably works a lot more on us because we were raised in that energy. When you're dealing with these new 20-year-old and these 15-year-old and these 6-year-old, they don't give a fuck about God and judgment and good or bad. Unless you're really, if you are raised in a household that is fanatical about that, a lot of them don't have those same fears. I grew up Catholic, and it was like, if you don't do this, God is going to come and burn you. I grew up in a Catholic school. If you hold hands with a boy, you're going to get pregnant, or you're going to be punished because you're doing that. We grew up with that,
hellfire damnation.
Yeah, kind of pushed in our head. These new generations, a lot of them don't have those same type of fears, so they don't operate that way. And I think a lot of times what Shishi was saying, which is deep, the good and the bad is to kind of take away accountability. If you're cheating on your partner, that's bad. That's a moral thing. That's to your core, how you're raised, your character. That has nothing to do with God or religion. But people use that as a scapegoat. Well, God did this, or God said I could do this, or I could do this, and God is going to forgive me. So I could rob a bank, I could kill somebody because God is going to forgive me. But like you said, people know. Based off of your character and the morals that you have, what's right and what's wrong.
So, but I also sorry, go ahead.
No. So I said, I think for a lot of people, Anthony said I should have been pregnant so many times. For a lot of people, it's just to be able to use it as a lack of accountability, because they don't want to be judged. So it's like, this is, the devil made me do it
all the time. And that's what about too, Tonya. It's so easy. A lot of people don't realize when you step onto the spiritual path as a practitioner or whatever you choose, whatever path you choose outside of religion, that basically all responsibility falls to you. There's no one else to blame it on. You can't say, oh, Hecate made me do it. Oh, Shango made me do it. Oh, these people made me do it, because it's you. You are accountable for this. And as far as looking at like the example of, oh, I cheated on my husband and God's going to forgive me. That has allowed so many people to do some of the shadiest stuff. And you think about it, you're like, how can you? And like, this is my thing. In the Bible, it says, do not hurt children. Like, that is up there. That is, I believe that is the worst sin. Like, even though he says all sins are equal, the hurting of a child supersedes all other sins. But yet, there's so much pedophilia that happens in the Catholic Church, and yet they're allowed to stay around. And I'm just like, see, this is a lack of accountability. You're looking and you're like, oh, well, I'm a person of God.
Absolutely. But it's crazy that you even say that, because I don't think that most people need a Bible or a doctrine to tell them not to hurt children. That's allowing sick people in. When we get priests or nuns that come in and they're pedophiles, they're coming in as predators because that's what they want to do. And there's so many organizations, churches and organizations that overlook that. Even Marcus has said something about the Masons. Every tradition organization always has those ones that come in with a different agenda, and it's not right.
When Walker was in kindergarten, I had to take this class. I can't remember what the class was, but you had to take a class before you were able to be a room mom or volunteer or anything like that. And so I'm thinking, okay, it means don't smoke in the truck with the kids if you're going to an outing, and, you know, don't slap anybody, don't cuss, whatever. No, girl, the whole class was how to identify child molesters. And it was all these child molesters up there talking about things they had done to kids, and turn around and said, and I'd do it again.
Yeah.
Girl,
I think
that was the most. And then the next day I go pick, Taylor was in the 2-year-old class, still in Pampers, right? When Walker was in kindergarten. So I go to school and pick her up the next day, and she comes out and tells me, Mom, my butt's broken. And I'm like, what do you mean your butt's broken? Who touched you?
Yeah.
But she was constipated. But anyway,
God,
it freaked me out because we actually had to take a class about that before they would even let you volunteer.
The thing is, though, with, you know, when I think of the pedophiles that try to be or become priests, or I think that in some of their heads, they believe that being in this organized religion, being a priest is, and God is going to take this desire, this whatever, away from them, and they won't want to do that. But instead, it's completely opposite, because that's what's in them.
True.
And, you know, I feel personally, I feel some kind of way about any religion that allows a person to stay in power after
they just move them to a different congregation.
And
I don't necessarily believe in hell, but I do believe there's a special place in hell for people who hurt kids and pets.
And old people, anybody that cannot protect them.
Hurt people, period. It goes all the way across the board. We see it in mainstream religion. We see it in ATRs. We see it in covens. I've heard about grown women being sexually involved with priests, and not just children. Predators are predators. If you have a predator that's going to come in, especially if they are going in for sex, it doesn't care. They don't care who they sleep with. There are pastors that sleep with men and women and children. There are voodoo priests that sleep with men, women, children, animals. There are predators all the way across the board. And unfortunately, it kind of goes back to that good, evil type of energy. I have met people that I never thought would hurt somebody, and then come to find out a year later they're a rapist.
Yeah.
Somebody that I broke bread with, somebody that I spent time with, somebody that I took a class with. And then I'm looking at this story, and there's one woman, there's 3 women, there's a dude, there's a chicken, and you're looking like, wow, where the fuck did I miss this?
Yeah.
But I do think that people miss it. I think that's why some of these people are able to get into these communities and these organizations, because some of them are charming. Some of them are able to switch that energy, and you don't see it. Because if they were presenting themselves as the sickness that they really are, they wouldn't be allowed in some of these groups. The sad thing is that we do have organizations where we see the sickness and we don't say anything.
Yeah.
We don't say anything because, one, we don't want to get involved. We don't want to be worked. We don't want to lose our job. I mean, you know, we want to believe that we are good people and that we have the best intentions, but it gets deep. And I'm sure even in mainstream religion with these pastors, some of these people know that these pastors are sleeping with the congregation.
Yeah.
But they don't want to rip the church apart, because that may be all that they have. You know, there's so, I mean, we could do a 3-part series on just, you know, predators in these communities, because it goes deep. It does.
And it's really sad. It's really, really sad that, you know, instead of, you know, people coming out and saying, you know, this person is sick, they're disturbed, they know that they're going to be villainized
Oh,
for making.
absolutely. They're gonna lose something. It's just like you having a friend that's cheating, and then you go and you tell the husband, and you know my friend, or you try to tell the friend that her husband is cheating. Typically,
She gets mad at you.
she gets mad at you because she's not ready to deal with the situation. I see so many people that follow people in the community and they're hearting their post, and I'm like, oh, I'm like in my house growling until I just have to scroll on, because I think sometimes even if you were to say it, a lot of people would not believe it because they don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, I've been there, so I know that can happen.
Charm is a dangerous thing, and I always,
I think it's a glamour for a lot of these people. I think it's a glamour, especially in the magical communities.
oh yeah,
It's a glamour.
well, we've talked about it so many times, Tanya, where we've like seen people where they're like they have so many followers and everybody's like they're the best person in the world, they're amazing, there's this, and I'm like, but I just feel like something's off. You know, something's just off. Hasn't come out yet, but it will. You know.
Well, even Nicole is saying facing retribution from the powerful. Watch the documentary Scientology, which we know that's kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, because these people were ruining people's lives.
Yeah.
They did not want to participate in this church. So it is, and there's a bunch of documentaries of organizations like that. There are cults that literally have killed members because they knew that they were about to be dismantled because of the cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs of the leader. So she's absolutely, people don't.
There's a lot of them. Jehovah's Witness. You can get excommunicated for smoking a cigarette. You smoke a cigarette, your family can never talk to you again.
It's true. It's true. I have friends that are Jehovah's Witness, and there's very strict guidelines. And for somebody who is using that religion to connect and be a part of something, the threat of being excommunicated is like death to them. A lot of people that don't have any other outlet, when you tell them that the person or the organization that they're with is tainted, a lot of them don't want to leave. They don't have anywhere else to get any type of support.
Yeah.
So it definitely happens. That's right, Nicole. Jim Jones. Like, there's a lot, like you say, there's a lot of documentaries in history on people who have connected and been with abusers, pedophiles, even coming into Voodoo, trying to find mentors was like crazy because everybody wanted to have some booty. They, if you come in, we can go out and we can date and I'll take you under my wings, but they want to rub on your ass a little bit, and that's taboo. You can't do that. And it's not
about that priest that used to have all them women lined up on the beach and made every one of them give him head or something like that before they would be initiated.
Well, even in the church, that pastor that was getting people to go down on him because he had special spiritual sperm, and the congregation was doing it. They were even making their kids do it because they believed that his sperm was blessed. A lot of these people definitely are charmers, or there's a glamour.
I just can't. I can't.
I think for a lot of people, we don't understand it because we're not in that mindset. But for people that are truly lost and they're looking for some type of direction and somebody takes interest in them, I've seen so many women get involved with men in the community that they shouldn't get involved with because they're lonely. They have no one. And you have somebody that makes you feel special. And then once people start grooming, that's where the problem is. It's like they're, so it gets complicated. It does get really complicated.
It does. But I think at the same time, I would have to see results. I'm too curious. I'd be like, so, like, especially if you're saying you have magical sperm, can you tell me the results of what your sperm has done for others, please?
Shishi's from Mississippi. Show me.
I need to see what it has done. I mean,
Girl, I don't even get a shit if I saw what it had done. I just don't think I could go out like that. I don't. I really don't. It's one of those things where, have you ever been? I have been in some uncomfortable situations, and I have driven home or got home and thought about the situation that I just walked away from, and it's just like, what the fuck was I even doing there? You know, there. For some, I think there's this thing of things have to be logical to me, and going down on a pastor for some sperm to get what is not logical to me. It just doesn't make sense to me.
No, it doesn't. And
But if you're groomed, say that these people have been in this church for years and this pastor has groomed them to think that he or she is powerful, because let's be honest, women are just as bad.
yeah, they are.
We have women predators too, and a lot of them don't get called out half as much as the men do, because people have a hard time believing that women would molest children or women would take advantage
School
of
teachers.
Yep.
I mean, all the way across the board. Bosses. There's a lot of corporate women that make people under them do certain things for them because they don't want to lose their job. Women can definitely be abusers.
You know, it's funny, speaking of the teacher thing, just sidetracking for a minute. You know, they were saying, you know, when we were in school, the teachers were so much older than us. And they were like, I think I didn't have a teacher that was 7 years older than me. My teachers were definitely a lot older than me. And they were saying, well, you know, if you have a boy who's 17 and the teacher's 22, you know, that kind of, and I was just like, yeah, the ages have definitely changed. That age gap has definitely dwindled down some, but
you still know.
You still know.
You're an adult. You still know that you're dealing with somebody. Now, there's a lot of women that like younger guys. My sister loves younger men, and she loves men that look like they are teenagers. That's her thing. Wouldn't be what I was attracted to, but that's her aesthetic. But you know, there's a difference between being with someone that looks young versus being with someone that is a child. And if these teachers nowadays, but have you seen these kids? These boys look like men, these girls look like women. There still has to be some sort of common sense that you would not cross lines.
My sister
said something about, you know, the weak being targeted. And I think that predators are people that are taking advantage of things like that, do it because these people or these children can be taken advantage of. And it's sad.
My sister, you know, she was talking to this guy, and my sister's in her 20s, and she looks really young even for her 20s. He was like, I need to see your ID. And she's like, I can't believe he asked me for my ID. I said, you know what? To be honest with you, if I were to get back out there in the dating world and like somebody looks young, I want to see some ID too. You know what I mean? I'm just scared now. I'm like, yeah, let me see your ID. I need to make sure that you are a full-fledged adult. You're not going to catch me up here. You know, no.
I don't think, like I say, women definitely don't get thrown under the bus. You could probably date somebody 18 or 19 and he would think that he had won the lottery because he's not going to see it as abuse. Now, I have noticed a surgence of men that are finally stepping up and saying, I was molested.
Yeah.
I was molested as a child. I was 16 and this 20-year-old woman was having sex with me, or this 40-year-old woman was having sex with me, because they were realizing at this point that they were taken advantage of. So it's, you know, it definitely crosses the line.
But of course, their friends were probably hyping them up. Oh, yeah, you got an older woman. And I remember I had a friend, he was like, yeah, I lost my virginity at 15. And I was like, oh, wow. He said, yeah, it was my mom's friend at the time. And I said, how old was she? He was like, oh, I think she was like 30 something. And I said, so you were raped? He goes, no. I just had sex with an older woman. I was like, no, you were raped. That's not okay for this woman who's significantly older than you to have sex with you. That's extremely disturbing. But he was like, nah, I just got an older woman. But I think a lot of them lock that in their head because they don't want to admit that they were assaulted pretty much. I mean, and I'm going to call it what it is. If a man did that to a woman, I would say, you know, she was assaulted. So these boys were assaulted, and it's wrong. It's horrible.
It definitely, for some of these, it's going to go to the perception of what they see it as. You know, let's take it back spiritual. Could it be that some of these people, when we talk about possession or attachments and things like that with these predators or these people that do come into these communities, could it be that there's something attached to them that is making them, like when we talk about pedophiles, are we talking about a mental illness? Are we talking about a spiritual infestation? How do y'all see that? Oh, thank you, Lavetta. Thank you. How do y'all see that though?
That's a tough one, honestly.
The first thing a pastor that gets caught is, oh God, I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. You know, the devil got into me or something got into me, and that's why I did it. Now,
I think that's a bullshit excuse.
I'm with Lynna on that.
But could it be physical?
Yeah, there are entities and attachments and things that do things, but you still have free will. I mean, there are entities that can literally eat away at you, at your body, and cause you to dry up and fucking die. They can give you eating disorders, but can they make you sexually assault somebody? I don't think so. That's my belief. I don't think so.
I'm like, this seems like
I have gone out. I'm a Leo. I have gone out in my younger days, and I have drank a lot of tequila, and I have always known who I was fucking.
That part.
But could it be a succubus energy though?
Yeah, but
you still know. You still know.
I would have to say, you know, people that have had attachments, they know they have attachment. They know something's wrong. I don't know if pedophilia, if assault, I don't know if I'd want to or say that
it would fall into that category. It could, an eating disorder. You can stop eating because in your mind you think you're fat, so you stop eating, or you eat half a cookie a day until your body literally eats itself and you fucking die because you have an attachment. There's all different sorts of attachments, but to make you physically harm another person or animal, I don't think so, because you still know. You have to physically reach out and do something to somebody. You're not mentally thinking, I'm fat.
To be honest with you, sometimes I think that things get attached to us because there's something in us that already has that desire. Could it be that someone gets possessed with something that, you know, does cause them to attack people? Yes, I do think that's possible. I do think that things like that could very well occur. But I do think as far as attachments that aid to that, I think that usually that's something that's already there within a person, that it just kind of amplifies it sometimes, because we all have certain depravities. Every human does. We all have certain depravities. So if we leave ourselves open enough, then that thing that can amplify that thing that helps us feed that depravity, it can latch on and then amplify.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Just like getting drunk, you tell the truth when you're drunk. Well, that's because you already thought that thought anyway. You just didn't have the balls to say it.
Because I do what is it? I mean, I guess if we go all the way back, we say, you know, liquor has spirits in it, right? But the truth is, liquor can have a spirit, but I think it's something that's already in us. So the liquor just brings out what we already hold within ourselves.
I think that could be true. I've gone to some bars though, and there have been energies there. Now, this could be energies of people who have died in that bar. It could be, people that overdosed in that bar. I do agree, like even what Mary is saying, lower spirits may encourage the behavior, but I think I agree with you, Shishi, is that there is a weakness that spirit goes towards in you. If I have an addictive personality, which probably 70% of the population has some type of really major addiction, whether it's to sugar, social media, sex, whatever, depending on how deep that need is or that addiction, could a spirit or an attachment come in and make it worse? I think they could. I think if somebody is completely vulnerable, there could be a full possession. I've seen people get drunk and be completely different people.
Yeah, but Tommy, you've been to fetes too, and you've seen spirit come. You've seen spirit come down on people. But have you ever seen a spirit come down on somebody and murder somebody else or rape somebody else?
I haven't in a fit, but I can't say that wouldn't happen somewhere else, because I do believe that there are possessions, and I think
my point is, even when you have a spirit come down on you and you show your hoo-ha, maybe you would have shown your hoo-ha, but you were just scared, and the spirit kind of opened you up to that. You know what I mean? But you physically are not going to hurt anybody. You're not going to hurt anybody.
So usually with possessions anyway, like let's say the person does have their own mind, the spirit or the entity has to wear them down and make them so fatigued that they leave an opening for them to take possession. Right?
And I think if you're talking about environments, when you go to a bar, typically you don't see, depending on what type of bar you go to. Back in the days when I was young and I used to go out and we would go to a bar, it was a lot of people in there that were not having the best day after work. They were going through a breakup in their relationship. Some people that were regulars there were alcoholics. I was married to an alcoholic, so there was a void because there was something that was not there. And I think it made it easier to be overtaken. And I think full possession, if you invite a spirit in, or you like the way I've seen, like, let's go back to Beyonce, where they say Sasha Fierce comes in and all of a sudden Beyonce's so quiet and she's meek and humble in her interviews, but when she gets on stage, she's popping her pussy in her ass and she's the bigger than life because she's saying that she's inviting this energy into her. I think some people 100% know that there's an attachment or a possession or a spirit, and they might be working in tandem with each other. I think some people call it in. Can you call spirit? When we do a fit, we're inviting spirit to come down into our bodies. Now, like she said, I don't feel like Ogu has ever told me to pick up my machete and decapitate somebody. I might try to slap you with the machete with it. I might try to chase you around the room with the machete, but I don't ever remember feeling like I need to kill somebody in that energy. Now, Fegede, I exposed myself to about 20 people. Would I have wanted to do that? No. If I was going to expose myself to other people, I would have groomed. I would have self-groomed. I would have had some bedazzles or something. That's the way I would.
You weren't hurting anybody else, was my point.
No.
You can do a lot of stuff when a spirit is taking over you, but you're not going to hurt somebody.
I didn't feel like I needed to hurt anybody, but in that moment, if I was Tonya would have wanted her vajayjay to be bedazzled before I put it out there. The spirit that mounted me didn't care what it looked like down there. The spirit was like, here it is. So was there
but that didn't hurt somebody. That wasn't violent.
And I don't think that my character or my morals would allow me to be
exactly, because
But it goes back to what she said. You have to have something in you that draws that energy in. If you are a dark energy or a dark person, maybe you're pulling that in.
So, like, let's use your example of you showing people your hoo-ha, as Lynna calls it, right?
It's a hoo-hoo.
So here's the deal. Like, we can take because you're a very sexually open person. You can talk about it. You're not scared of it. And so maybe the energy that was called in, not for you to flash yourself, but just to be as free as you naturally are with the subject.
I mean, flashing myself on a good day wouldn't have been a problem. But I
She's
mean,
mad because she didn't wax. That's what she's trying to say.
but I get what you're saying. You're right. I wouldn't have any hang up. Like, I don't think I would have been overly, like, embarrassed because people saw my vagina. It didn't really kind of bother me. To be honest, what bothered me after everybody told me that I flashed my vagina was that it wasn't looking the best that it could have looked. That's what bothered me.
But
So
see,
you
but
might be right that the spirit that overtook me was like, she's not going to care about this because it is freedom.
yeah.
So, I mean, but like, it goes back to what you're saying, that if somebody is calling in a spirit that is hurting people, is raping people, is taking advantage of people, it is because that darkness is already there. And maybe these people we got to be honest. There's a lot of people that don't want to be love and light. There's a lot of people in this world that aren't love and light. They don't want to be the butterflies and rainbows. They want to fuck shit up.
I mean, think about it. Think about, like, let's just use this as an example. The people who have had their child taken from them, the amount of anger and rage that builds up in you, the amount of hate. And if you leave yourself open like that,
Absolutely.
If you leave yourself open to that, then...
And we've seen that. We've seen parents that have come back and killed whoever took their kid. And to be honest, I do the same thing. I would want to do the same thing. Y'all would probably have to lock me up somewhere because I would want to kill.
But I know you, Tonya, and you say that, but when it come right down to it, I don't think you would kill anybody. I mean, it depends on the situation. If CPS took your children, you'd be mad, you'd be hurt, you'd want to kill somebody, and you'd want to die yourself.
Yeah, but we're talking about
it. But would you actually kill somebody? No, because you're a better person than that. You'd want to, and you'd probably want to die yourself. But would you ever kill somebody or yourself? No.
Yeah, but if someone physically hurt your child.
If somebody was physically attacking my child in the moment, yeah. But if someone took my kids, such as CPS or something like that, I might think it, but I would never do it. If somebody was in the act of hurting my child, I'd beat the fuck out of them so bad I'd stomp their brains out. Right in the middle of the street. I'd keep stomping until the fucking gray turned pink and then red.
Hey, Nancy, I'm talking about if someone hurt your child, and you held onto that rage and that anger for so long, and you left yourself open, an attachment, a spirit could come in, amplify that, and while it may not normally be you would be thinking of ways that you could murder that person and get rid of them.
There are certain spirits that are attracted to rage, and I know this because I have been overtaken by those energies before when I have been upset, and it's almost like you're trying to calm yourself down and something will not allow you to calm down, because there are certain spirits that feed off of that anger, that rage. There's spirits that feed off of depression. There's spirits that feed off of sexual energy. That's why you get these women out here and it's like, I'm fucking everybody and I don't know why I'm fucking everybody. I can't stop fucking everybody. And it's because that spirit is bringing it in. Some girl, Sierra, sent me something at the beginning of the year where this woman went through a hypnosis session, and the hypnosis had to pull the sexual spirit off of this woman because she literally was waking up in the morning with different people in her bed and she had no idea how they were getting there. And it was because she was like, I would go to the bar, or I would go to the club, and then I would wake up with a stranger in my bed. Was it a succubus energy?
Yeah.
But it could have been because, too, she was lonely and she wanted that connection. Like you said, maybe she opened herself up.
But
she kept going back to the bar.
But it would make sense that you would be able to open yourself up to that succubus energy, because if she's lonely, she wants that connection. She wants to be touched. She wants to be loved. She wants that passion. And probably, when that comes in, that energy, she might have been able to be a seductive person, someone she couldn't be, on a normal basis. Or yeah, Nicole, split personality. That's true too.
Or like
Yeah.
Rebecca said,
But
there's people that go out to feed on people.
Yeah.
there are people though that hold on to. I don't want to.
Well, you said
The things that are going on in the world. If somebody came into my house, shot my son, and raped my daughter in front of me, and then kidnapped my daughter and took her away, I would fucking blow up their whole motherfucking country. And people are saying ceasefire. No, motherfucker. Not after what you did to me. So yeah, I kind of get what you're talking about, Shishi.
I would be there with a shovel. I'd be like, so how many bodies do we have to bury? I mean, I'm that good friend. I am a good friend, but because I don't feel like we should go to jail.
We wouldn't go to jail. We wouldn't go to jail. I got a car. Tanya's got a hoe and a shovel. We got a whole ocean full of sharks out here. Yeah, we wouldn't go to jail.
I mean, like, if you think about it, like, and you guys don't have to answer, like, think about your deepest secret that you hold on to that you may not even want to tell each other, and you hold on to it. That one depravity. And then, it comes out. You have something that amplifies it if put in the right situation. I know what mine is. I think only 2 people know what mine is. It's bad, but well, it's not really bad, but it's different. It's not something people would think about me.
I don't know. I talk so much. I think y'all know everything. I'm trying to like, what would I not want y'all to know? I mean, everybody knows that I can get angry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I know I probably got something deep down inside.
And that's what I think. I think sometimes there's things like, especially if it's something that you're withholding from yourself. That's why I think it's very important to know both your light and shadow side. Because when you're so busy trying to hold down this shadow side or this thing that you consider bad, then it's easy because it's something you don't want to face yourself.
Well, I don't know if Marcus is still on here, but we know we have the Holy Genius, and then we also have the evil.
Yeah.
And so
born with an angel and a demon.
Yeah.
So depending on who you are you going to lean? Because I definitely know people that lean one way or the other. Very few people are balanced. Very few people are balanced. Because I get all these other light people and they're like, I can't believe they hurt me. I can't believe they did this to me. I can't believe that they're not my friend anymore. And I'm like, girl, you definitely need to get in touch with the darker energy because you become a doormat.
I would like to think though, when it comes to something like murder or something like that it would take something traumatic, like what we were talking about, to trigger that part of you. I'm sure we all have it in us, but I think it would take some major something to trigger it.
It has to be murder. I've fallen out with people where I could have broke their fucking necks. I don't think it has to be murder to trigger that darkness inside you, to be honest. I'm going to just be honest.
Yeah, but it has to be something really bad. If you're going to break somebody's arm or break somebody's neck, they had to do something to really piss you off. You're not just going to walk into the Family Dollar and say, bitch, I was here first. Crack.
So I can be honest. Tanya knows this about me. I think I don't need to break your neck because that's too, like, depending on the situation, that might be too easy. I'm gonna monitor your weakness. And so my first real spell, and it didn't even take a lot when we talk about darkness, is I stopped a woman's womb and watched her cry because she could not have children of her own. But I did put a caveat on it, though. If she fixed what she fixed.
Shishi, you bad girl.
But they all have something like, And I mean, even now, like I do my best always. I feel like I am definitely more balanced now than what I was when I first started the path. I was full fledged, full
Okay,
fledged.
so let's talk about that, Shishi.
Mhm.
What for you to do something like that? What
Mhm.
did you just pick some random woman off the street, or did that woman do something to piss you off?
That woman did something that hurt a lot of
Did-
people. I worked with this woman, and there was a woman that I worked with who was truly, truly an amazing woman. Like I'm not a really big church person, but you know how they say certain people, like a true Christian, you would see them walking. There was a woman that you just didn't mess with. She had the best heart. She was amazing. She was beautiful. And you could just see like Christ-like energy coming off this woman when she stepped off a bus, anything. And she messed with that woman. And I had an issue with that. I have an issue when
but
you,
see, she did something that triggered you, that
yeah, but
brought that out in you.
well, it was
That
already in me. There
right,
was a,
but it took something to trigger you to bring it out. I think
so
we all have a very, very dark side, but
yeah, but
but I
people won't,
think it takes, something has to flip that switch.
for
On
some
some
people,
of us, there are some sadistic little bastards out there killing cats and stuff,
I
and
know
then they grow up and be Ted Bundy.
that's
You
true.
know,
Well, I think some people, I think there has to be a balance on the path. I think we need people like the Demon King. And then we need people who are love and light to balance other people like the Demon King. And then we
Mhm.
need, for ourselves, we have to have the majority of the people be balanced, right? But I think dark has power and light has power. But as far as like, oh wait, when it comes to the evil genius is the one that you allegedly did. Oh,
So
bring it close.
basically, he's saying if you want to get more in touch with your darker side, call the evil genius closer to you and
And
talk.
I started it though. I did not. I felt like for the most part, I was always a good person. And then when I started the path, I just switched. I didn't want that.
Maybe you've
So
been holding stuff in for so long, you finally release. It was a release.
in that too. But I know someone else, there was a girl, she was working with me and she actually quit. She told the owner of the company she quit because I was a witch. And at the time I wasn't a witch. I was at church and everything. She goes, that woman right there, she's a witch. She's a dark witch. And they were like, Shatina is at church all the time with her
That
siblings.
don't mean nothing.
And it was like a year and a half before I actually got onto the path of being a witch.
There's a lot of witches sitting in church. A lot. You know, Christianity and Catholicism and being a Baptist or Pentecostal, that doesn't mean anything. It's a lot of people still hiding in plain sight.
Oh, he's like, don't just nonchalantly call it. Well, maybe it's sitting there for many people.
Yeah, I had a lady come up to me a couple weeks ago when I went to service, and she's like, "You read tarot cards, don't you?" And I said, "Yeah." She says, "I just love my cards." She says, "I don't know the meanings, but I love my tarot cards."
That's so cute. I mean, like I look at Marcus. I'm with Nicole. You have to know what the darker side is in order to recognize darkness. Like if you look at Marcus, you look at him, he looks so sweet. I swear to God, I see him all the time. I'm like, he looks so sweet and he would kill you. He would just kill you. You know, without
That way to everybody. And I think that's, I don't know if that's spirit or what, but he doesn't look that way to everybody because there are people that will cross the street when they see him because his energy is dark. So the cuteness of him, they don't see that. And I think there are people that are very gifted where they can see what you really are, what you really look like. And Marcus, what he looks like on the outside is nothing like what he is on the inside at all. At all. And some
Yeah,
people see that in him.
I remember when you were worried about me and I guess you talked to him about it and I was like, there's something in my room. And you're like, well, I did talk to Marcus. I'm like, damn it. Marcus got something sitting up in my bedroom looking at me.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say is I love Marcus.
We all love Marcus.
I do. I really do.
We all love Marcus.
So wait a minute. What did y'all love bombing him so that when he go completely batshit, y'all gonna be okay?
You told me not to ever let him hear what I say about him, so I'm not going to because he's on here.
You
But
can't.
I love Marcus. I do. I love him.
Honestly, to me, I mean, like I said, I have my nickname for Marcus, and I do love Marcus. But I also know that Marcus is one of those people. If he decides to destroy the world, I just want him to tell me what ship to get on. That's all. Just let me know where I need to go.
Marcus will protect his people. Marcus will take care of the people he cares about. I know that.
We all be
But
sitting there watching.
He will fuck everybody else up. He will fuck everybody else up, but he will take care of the people that he cares about.
Yeah.
I love Marcus. I just do.
I really do. Sometimes I wish he had a bit more balance, but I do love him.
I love Marcus.
Marcus, I don't know what the fuck you just did to them, but they are like seriously like love bombing.
No, I do though. I've hugged this man before. I love Marcus. I love giving him a hug, and he just doesn't want to be seen that way, and that's why I can't say anything else. I love Marcus. I think he's a great person.
But I know he owes me.
He does his thing. Don't fuck with him, or you'll regret it. That's all.
True.
Marcus owes me food. That's all I know for throwing me under the bus last live. Yeah, he owes me some food.
That's what it is, Nicole. They trying to be on the right side.
I have seen some demons from Marcus, and I'm just like, it's just really sitting up in my room.
Yeah.
Just sitting in my room looking at me.
Marcus say disgusting, give me more.
If this is in my room,
Marcus put some demons on me and Tonya, and we loved every bit of it. We welcomed it. They did what they were supposed to do, and
I think you need to clarify that because you put some demon on us and we love you. Make it sound like we had a demon orgy or something going on.
Loved it. They did what they were supposed to do. All of a sudden, Meg the Stallion.
They did what they were supposed to do.
Oh gosh! Oh my God!
We got home with a clear mind and a clear conscience, and the truck made it all the way there. We didn't catch COVID. We didn't even know why the fuck people were hoarding toilet paper when we got back.
True.
I mean,
that is true.
He protected us not only physically but mentally as well. And
spiritually, yeah.
He comes through and
I got nothing but love for him.
I know he helped me when somebody attacked me and I was in a fog, and then like it started clearing and I was like, what the heck? And he was like, and I could see his smile. He's like, we could do something. I'm like, let's do something. Like that's fine.
Well, okay. Dragons then.
It was the
whatever it was, it came from you.
I think the thing about it is that, and this is a prime example of when you look at somebody as just purely dark, which I do feel like he's a dark magician.
He definitely is.
There is going to be the benefit of having that energy around you if you typically don't operate in that energy. Like, it's good to have that network and that spiritual support and that spiritual team, especially when you're being attacked, because there's a lot of different things that people are not expecting from the energies. But I always, like when I met Shishi, she was a dark witch, and people were like, oh, you don't want to really be friends with somebody who's like that. They could turn and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, I don't worry about it. And I'm my groups are very eclectic. And everybody brings something different to the table, which I think is beneficial, to be honest, because it helps you grow. It helps you see other sides of things. You can't be, too far one way or the other. Sometimes you do need to figure out how to connect with different things because it's beneficial.
I think it's so interesting that people believe that just because you're dark that you're going to, switch up on someone. Whereas in my experience, it has always been the people that were considered love and light that have always switched up on me. or those that were.
I will agree. I would say that too. It's never been the people that I thought it was going to be, that I was going to have, that were a problem, that I was going to have a problem with. It's always been the ones that I never thought would be the problem. But I think too that goes to glamour, and that goes to charm, is that these people are a certain way underneath the surface. Just like some of y'all, like you say, see Marcus a certain way. There's a lot of people that don't see that, so it's not going to work on everybody. But
Yeah.
I think so. Here's the deal. I don't know if it will be a glamour Marcus. I won't say that. I think it just comes with, you seeing. I don't want to say you seeing somebody for somebody, but I think people, if they look at someone and they're like, "Oh, you're dark and scary," automatically, I think he may want them to see that.
And it could be his spirits. My spirits make me
And too, it goes outside the spiritual community too. I have a cousin who's really beautiful, but she is such a bitch that when I look at her, she's ugly to me. You're how you see people, really depends on your feelings, your opinions about that person too. If someone says, "Oh, that's the demon king over there," to their friend who's never met Marcus, then all of a sudden their friend's going to be like, "Oh," and they see him that way because they don't know the other side.
I mean, but even
I do, and he didn't. I love Marcus.
Even when, even before I had even spoken with Marcus and I saw just Marcus, I didn't see, and you were like, yeah, that's, he works with the demons and stuff, but I still didn't see him as something dark and scary. That's just not what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and maybe once again, like I said, maybe he wants people to see him as dark and scary, but then at the same time, there are people that others consider beautiful, but when you get to, I mean, now if I got to know him further and he was evil in a whole dig, then yeah, I'd be like, okay, yeah. He's not as, he's not anymore. But it's just the same as, like you said, with your cousin, like people look at her, oh my God, she's so beautiful, she's so this. And then maybe when she opens her mouth, you're like, okay, now she looks like the old crone from some old German black and white movie, Right. And I think it's also, people can be scared of the unknown.
Your perception changes as you get to know people too, and that could be for good and could be for bad.
But then some also scaredy cats. Like you could have the most beautiful person on the world, and people who may not like, let's say, Black people, they'd be like, she's not beautiful, even though, like Halle Berry, they might look at Halle Berry like, she's not beautiful, and you're like, but she was voted how many times most beautiful woman in the world?
It's perception, and I think also personality and the way that you carry yourself speaks a lot for people. It does. But like I've met some
I've never been on Marcus's bad side to see him in a bad way.
Yeah.
I don't think I have either.
So, but it is 3:33 right now, and we have a couple questions. So did you guys want to do the questions? Because we're going on almost two hours now. Okay, so the first question is from Nicole. And Nicole says, does Spirit have any messages for me regarding my business and finances? I feel my grandparents around me and wonder if I'm getting their messages. So, messages regarding business and finances, and are her grandparents what did it say? Me and wonder if are her grandparents sending her messages that she's not getting. My battery's getting real low on my computer.
Oh no, get your charger.
It's plugged in. I don't know what's going on with it. It goes through spells. It has a mind of its own.
You good?
Yeah, I have allergies.
Ah,
I'm allergic to cats, but Lucifer is here to stay. And I already took my pill today, so I don't want to take another one, you know. Okay, I got the Page of Pentacles for your business. This is ambition, financial opportunity. You've got some good news coming in regarding your finances. I also feel like you do have new opportunities coming in, so keep an open mind about that. And as far as your grandparents, I'm going to pull another one. And they're saying, yeah, you're getting their messages. They're more or less trying to tell you to keep going, you know. How do I put it? Work hard and keep moving forward. Does that sound does that resonate with you, Nicole?
For those who are asking, can I ask a question? There is a banner at the bottom. I don't know if she clicked off questions, but it was saying how you had to submit your questions at the banner running down at the bottom.
Yeah, there's
So,
a link in the description. There's a banner going across. I mean, you know.
so I think my message is definitely more on also a mental level, Nicole, because I'm being told that you're definitely in a way having fear and moving from a place of lack, that you're scared that you're not going to be able to catch up. You're scared that things aren't going to open for you. And that's kind of what's amplifying right now. You know, guides are telling me that you need to network more, that there are definitely, just like Lynna said, opportunities coming about, but you're going to have to get out there and put your name out there. And it doesn't mean stomping on people's toes, but it's definitely finding your work tribe where you guys can all grow together and there's no jealousy. For some reason, it seems like some of the people that you're running into, there may be a jealous streak. They're worried that you may surpass them, or that you may take something from them, and that's not your intent at all. Now, is there going to be some financial prosperity coming in? Yes, it is. Definitely keep moving. Definitely take the blindfold of lack off your eyes, and move forward in faith, because I get, as far as your grandparents are concerned, it's definitely a message of faith, having faith in yourself, having faith that you made the right decision, and definitely having faith that you're on the path because you enjoy what you do. So keep moving forward and understanding that what you bring to the table only you can bring. So I do get that there is a big opportunity coming up for you. I'm getting around the more of the October, November time period. So keep your eye open for it, and then be prepared. Be prepared. So when that opportunity opens up, you just step right in it.
Yeah.
okay. So I'm probably on the same thing, because the first thing I got was you being very ambitious, an opportunity coming in. And I also see too that you have a male on the other side. He's very straightforward, very just direct with communication. And he's like, stop being scared. Stop being scared. You know what you need to do. You know what the next step is. You know that you're going to be okay. You're letting fear get in the way. So it's causing delays. And he's like, the delays are not going to move until you let go and do what you're supposed to do. And this is probably a masculine, older male. So I don't know if this is your grandfather, but he's very direct. And he's like, you got to let go of this fear, because there is opportunity that's coming in.
Yeah, I would say set some goals and make a plan as well. Manifest that shit. Here we go. Next, we have Allie Pat. She says, hi, I'm Allison, and I would like to ask, are my sister's co-workers intentionally being prejudiced or racist? Will she be okay?
She said her sisters and sisters?
Her sister's co-workers. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can put it up on the thing. Copy. On computer. Work with me just a few more minutes. It's dragging ass because it's on 5%.
Just read it again. Hey, Shar.
So the first
She
thing
wants
I
to
get
know
is
if her sister's co-workers are being racist and negative, and will her sister be okay?
Awesome.
okay. So the first thing that I get is unexpected trouble with these people, which means she didn't even think that there was going to be a problem. But I get a lot of jealousy and envy that's coming in from these people. Your sister's sensitive, very, very sensitive, and I think she's an empath too. So she's picking up on the energy of these people, even if there's nothing being said, because it seems like a real childish type of energy. So I do see her being watched, and they're making her feel uncomfortable. I really don't feel like that she's going to stay there long term, because I feel like Spirit is going to open something up for her. But they're telling her while she's there to just focus on the job, make the money, and get out. Like, don't give these people any energy, because they're trying to affect her. And they're definitely going to be a problem. They are.
So I have something along the same line. I definitely get that she's not going to be there long. You know, definitely on a mundane level, make sure she documents everything, because it seems like they're going to try to make up lies to try to push her out. There's a lot of dishonesty happening. The good thing is there seems to be another opening happening, something that maybe she wanted to do before that she wasn't able to do. Maybe the job wasn't available when she really wanted to go for it, because it seems like someone in the community, someone that, you know, knows her or knows the family, is going to bring up the opportunity to her. The good thing is they are saying, you know, keep doing the best at the job that she's doing right now. You know, don't feel relaxed, because there's one of these people is going to be really manipulative, try to squeeze in, be her friend, get some information, and turn it against her. Now, the good thing is that your sister is well protected by spirit or ancestors, so they're not going to let it go but so far. But there is definitely trouble afoot when it comes to these ladies, and a lot of the jealousy tends to be with, there's a male, I guess, there that, you know, maybe they're all trying to suck up to, or they're all trying to, you know, show that they're the best. And so either your sister's light is too bright, or they're just concerned of, you know, that this person may like more. So there is some pettiness and jealousy going on there, but I don't get that she's going to be there long. So definitely, I hope she doesn't get discouraged. She's going to be out sooner than what she thinks, actually.
Yeah, I think she just read my cards. There is definitely deception, lying, cheating, theft, manipulation. All that's going on. Instead of one person being there, that's like it feels almost like a plant, like someone pretending to be her friend. I'm getting two people. There's two people that are planted, but she is gonna come out, you know, on the other side, a very happy and, you know, successful person, someone who has a lot of joy in their life. But yeah, they're doing everything they can to try to manipulate the situation, and the problem right now is they're getting away with it.
Yeah. So document. Keep everything on the P's and Q's.
Yeah. Okay, let me go see. I think we had somebody else snuck one more in there, so let me go check.
Okay.
Okay, and then Juana is asking who is spiritually attacking me and why. actually going to use a different one. And this is Tawana.
So what I'm getting is it looks more like an ex-partner or an ex-friend because I have male energy. I have where maybe you were moving up, you were becoming successful, and this person felt like, you weren't giving something to them, maybe paying attention to them. It definitely seems like this person liked you a lot more than maybe what you recognized or realized, because the person feels abandoned and neglected somehow, even though that may not have been your intent. It may not have even been that you realize this person found themselves as important in your life as what they did. They are definitely coming through with hitting you with the depression, hitting your money. If you were looking at moving maybe for a new job or a new apartment, they're attacking that too, because things are definitely moving slowly. Now, the other part is that, you feel in certain ways that maybe you want to share your successes. You need to be a little bit more quiet about what you're doing and how you're moving, because this is getting back to that person. But that's what I have. It's definitely for me a male energy, but what did you guys get?
Yeah, I'm getting a male energy as well, and I'm also getting the reason why is because of the money, the business, they're attacking your money, but it feels like because they know that's where they can hurt you. Yeah, like what we were discussing earlier, that's your weakest point, and so that's what they're attacking. But it does look like a male that came in. It's somebody that I feel like they wanted a relationship. They came in really fast, and you just were like no, and so now they're attacking your money and your business. So like she said, it could be your work, but also definitely your money. Even small transactions, they're affecting even small transactions. So make sure that you look at your bank account and make sure every transaction, you don't have 4 Netflix accounts, but check stuff like that, because it could be coming out in little pieces that add up to a lot.
You have a scammer on. I would say the same thing. I'm definitely getting a male, but I do feel like that this male has some type of backing behind them. So I'm not sure if this is a group of people or a coven, but there's other stuff. There's something else he's pulling energy from. Definitely about money. The relationship could be you or a relationship that this person had with somebody else that you got in between, because I'm getting a triangle. So it looks like that you may have pulled somebody away from this person or affected their money that way, or there was some type of problem with a breakup and you moving in a different direction, and this person feels like something was taken away from them, and that's why they're coming after you, because they feel like you took something away from them. Doesn't seem to be about love though. I feel like it's mostly about money, about finances. And so it is showing too, you're leaving yourself wide open for the attack. So there's no spiritual cleansing, there's no protection, there's nothing that you're doing to ward this energy off. And I feel like that you need to do that, because I don't think that it's just going to stop really quick. I think when you need to start spiritually cleansing yourself and your environment, you probably, I don't know if you're a practitioner, but you probably need to do some money work, because it's showing that they're going to keep attacking. It's going to keep causing problems until you kind of put some blockages up there with this person. Could be somebody too that's obsessed, and that's why they're not. But I feel like that there are other people involved with this, and that could be why it keeps going, coming back to you. Boy, that copy and paste game is strong.
So fast.
And my battery is making my computer lag. I'm trying to get the 3 dots to open up.
don't give this person, don't inbox or anything. They're going to tell you lies, take your money. You know right now that you're being scammed. They're not even doing this the proper way, and the spirits are not going to allow it.
There you go. I hope that helped you guys. And we will be back in 2 weeks. What's 2 weeks? So 15 plus 14 is the 29th. Did they just say something again? Okay. So we'll be back on the 29th, and hopefully we'll actually have a topic that we can all agree on and stick to. Because we decided one topic last week. I think we said we were going to do covens. We didn't even talk about no damn covens. We talked about everything else.
Let's talk covens next.
But we'll try. We're going to get our shit together. And we're going to make it happen.
Well, y'all have a great day.
Yes, y'all have a wonderful 2 weeks. Oh, and Tuesday is a super moon. So if y'all want to get out and check it out, do that. Take some pictures. And hashtag Conjure Crew so we can look at all your pictures.
Yeah. Is this the one that has a partial eclipse? I thought it was.
Yes.
That'll be nice too. Use the energy, guys.
Yep. It's going to be 256 minutes, but only 46 of those are you going to actually be able to see the surface of the moon.
Ooh, exciting.
So because the side that's usually on the shadow side we're actually going to be able to see the surface of the moon. So take pictures, hashtag Conjure Crew, because we're nosy. We want to see all the beautiful pics.
It'll be a good day to make moon water.
Yeah,
Yes.
and we have a telescope,
so
maybe we can do some good pictures.
Yeah.
All right,
guys.
See y'all in a couple of weeks.
Love you bunches. See you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Bye.